Hi there and welcome to another quick tips video. Today I'm going to show you how to use the MediaBay to load your own samples and build your own drum kit inside of Groove Agent SE4. I have Groove Agent open in front of me, so now it's a matter of opening the MediaBay. Now once I've opened the MediaBay, on the left hand side you can see the file system for my computer and the local hard drives. I'm going to go to the Funky House Grooves 2 sample folder and go to the bass folder and find a bass drum that I like. When I find something suitable, I drag it over into the top square on the bottom left pad. That's for individual samples. Notice I've just dragged 2 kick drum samples over. We can layer up to 8 samples on each pad, and we can control the velocity crossover point using the handles on the right hand side. I only need one, so I've right mouse clicked to delete the unwanted sample. I've gone back to try and find a snare sound. You may wonder why I'm dragging some samples onto specific pads. Well, I'm using a general MIDI drum map, but you can place your samples wherever you want them. My kick is on C1, my snare on D1, and my hi-hats on F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. Sitting next to me on my workbench, I have a small 2-octave MIDI controller. I'm using this controller to control the instrument pads. So we've got the skeleton of a traditional drum kit, kick, snare, and hats. It's a fairly metallic sound at the moment, but I'm going to go in and use some sound design tools inside of Groove Agent to modify the sound. I'm starting with the pitch, so I'm using the coarse pitch and I'm dropping that on the kick drum to give it a much lower sound. Next up is the filter tab on the right hand side. I'm a huge fan of Steinberg's Bit Red, so I'm adding some distortion over the top of the kick. I'm going to select the snare pad and do the same with the snare, except this time I'm going to try Steinberg's Rate Red filter, which will give it a different type of distorted sound. Okay, it's time for some ambience. Stick with me here because I'm going to move quickly. Let's go up to the amp tab, down to the auxiliary 1 send and turn that up, go up to the mixer menu, across to the auxiliary tab, and select some reverb in the first auxiliary slot. Now we've got some ambience over the top of our snare. Let's select the kick pad and add some auxiliary 1 to the kick, which will also send it to the very same send. Now I'm doing the same to my open hi-hat, just a little bit of reverb send on that pad. Groove Agent SE4 is a meaty sound design tool and there's stacks of effects that you can play with. But for now, I'm going back to my MediaBay and I'm going to select some loops. On the bottom right hand corner of the MediaBay, I've selected Align Beats to Project, and that means that everything I play inside of the MediaBay will be the same tempo as my project. So this loop is perfectly aligned. I'm going to go over to the sample window and change how the loop is triggered. I'm going to select Until Release, which means as soon as I release the pad, the sample stops. This functionality makes Groove Agent SE4 the perfect accompaniment to anyone that wants to trigger drum shots and drum loops live at a gig.